and why you go so I find the action common class ye din commodia for no fee stress and she say na John Dramani Mahama e dia to dwa say what they be yi adeswa e dia free awofu a wo mo ma so so mbeko eye tertiary institutions so wo chechem wo nia no fee stress no ejina ma ene botanti a wo mo de buy e must trust way
say na make no no fee stress any free SHS ni niama ekeka educational policies e ho no it's something that is in the NDC constitution and Ghana constitution no it's something that is in the NDC constitution.
More constitution.
Yes, and in some few minutes I'll demonstrate because of that intimidation be yama Ghana for. Now okay, Article 7(1)(f) now. Or see the aims and objectives of the party are to F seek provision of free and compulsory basic education and within the means available progressively provide appropriate higher education for every citizen of Ghana. This Article 7(1)(f). Now okay, Article 7 2 now, clause 2 now.
Yeah.
Or see, the aims and objectives of the party shall conform to the fundamental human rights and freedoms and the directive principles of state policy as enshrined in Chapter 5 and Chapter 6 of the 4th Republican Constitution. And the party shall pursue the political, economic, social, educational, and other objectives stated in Chapter 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. In Article 25. Of the 1992 Constitution.
Right.
So see, we've established, he said, from free SA, from F-cube to free SHS to no fee stress. No, we've established, he said, our NDC Constitution. And this NDC Constitution was passed in 1992.
And I'm okay higher education. Higher place of learning now. More referred to and to
tertiary and to associate. Yes,
okay.
Yes. This Constitution was signed in 1992.
Right.
Now, okay, clause 7(2) now. I just read it. It made reference to the fundamental human rights and directive principles of state policy under Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. So I'm reading Article 25. It's on the fundamental human rights.
Yeah.
Article 25. Or see, all persons shall have the right to equal education opportunities and facilities, and with a view to achieving the full realization of that right. Uba wena sina. Or see, higher education shall be made equally accessible to all, and on the basis of capacity, by every appropriate means, and in particular, by the progressive introduction of free SHS. Functional literacy shall be encouraged or intensified as far as possible. So, because 1992 Constitution, NDC, drafted in 1992 Constitution. And Ghana for the free SHS shame, the F-cube shame, and I did no fee stress way shame on into yes, your constitution, the political party NDC in 1992. No, say as part of our political objectives. It was say the realization of New Constitution, 1992 Constitution.
It is to be your mommy, no fee stress, no. Our 1992 Constitution.
Wow. And I say what NDC Constitution Constitution way was enacted in 1992. And he said Obi eti baby say no fee stress. A MPP policy. At what point in time MPP this our policy ni buy? So that
Kosabre no matter.
Exactly. No money parliament impo.
That's right.
They didn't even participate in the drafting of the 1992 Constitution. No matter. So we have established that. Now the point about we are confused about the policy and other things. Uba Ghana Hanoma. Maybe it is the English that they don't understand. And Yebekai no fee stress column of the manifesto minister. Okay, say we started converting polytechnics into universities when the Technical Universities Bill, Act of 2016 was passed. That was the same time a law was passed to give colleges of education, in nursing training colleges, to run degree programs. So they achieved the full status of tertiary education. And they say, tertiary education now, polytechnics, colleges of education, nursing training colleges are all part of tertiary institutions.
That's right.
So if we've mentioned in our manifesto, say the no fee stress will cover tertiary education. The interpretation I am and say all these institutions that are now tertiary institutions, then you be benefiting. But we are limiting it to what? Public institutions, at least for the starters, because because okay constitution now, okay NDC constitution now, provisional everyone say should be progressive. And that is the reason why even the free SHS now MPP are implementing our constitution democrano. They didn't extend it to private schools. It is still at the progressive stage.
That's right.
And it is now that even in our youth manifesto, John Dramani Mahama Air promises say even with the free SHS, say oba bemwa oba extended to cover private schools.
Yeah.
To the no fee stress no. For starters, we are starting with public tertiary institutions, which includes the universities as we know it, the colleges of education, the nursing training colleges, and the polytechnic, because now they have the full status of tertiary or universities. Good. We have 46 colleges of education. 46, the whole Ghana. 46. Public, actually.
Right.
46. Polytechnics are all over the country. You were 10. Because new regions now are creating a NC polytechnics in more Montini.
We have technical universities.
Technical universities.
Right.
Into year 10. We have your friend is nursing training colleges, about 20 something. Who can be more? You work the numbers and the number of people who are admitted to these educational facilities within a year now. When you work the number, you realize if you're looking at the fees, I'm first years now. It is working between the region of 270,000 to 300,000 a year. That is how we did the mathematics, and that is what we are looking at. Now, if you have the numbers and you know the amount of OBTR, you need to look at secure source of funding. Man in Koyet is a free SHSR. There was no plan. Said this is how we are funding it because of political expediency. What to agum now? It's facing challenges, and even when political opponents are saying, "Say, look, where we have gotten to, we say a review policy, and part of the review, we say, you should dedicated source of funding for the free SHS. Get fund alone is not able to fund free SHS. You share other revenue streams to support the get fund. Then you are saying that, sir, ni oka sano, or peso bar, or collapse." Free SHS. But I've just told you, so even in the NDC constitution, there's free SHS in it.
Right.
So why would the person who has free SHS in his constitution, be implemented at the end, who need to constitution, abolish that policy? So we looked at him and said, look, under the current running mate of the MPP, Napo, as education minister, he capped get fund. Almost the get fund, between from 10 to 15 years.
That's right.
What the NDC is seeking to do is say, we should get fund act now. The policy rationale behind it under Rawlings government, and he say, we want to dedicate a fund to education. When before the MPP came to power, when you move around the country, we should project, we better get fund project, get fund project, get fund project. Minu into boy free or taxes, and then they be called get fund. MID funding educational facilities who call baby secondary schools are your dorms or University of Ghana say there were buses, hostels for University of Ghana and other tertiary institutions are get fund proceeds and yes MPP government way and the get fund they are not able to get. In fact, about 90% of the funds that comes to get fund now is used to pay loan and go into the development of the purpose for which the act are. Now, whatever they use Scano for, no, you and I, we are not able to determine. Now, even beyond the get funder, we want to uncap when we come to power in order to free it to fund the no fee stress. No. We are also looking at wastages in the system. Wastages. Between yes. I think last year or so, the president he travels for nine times outside the country. Alone cost 69 million. For nine travel in and out the country was 69 million. Only a cabinet retreat be one cabinet retreat alone cost 5 million Ghana cedi. Uko a year Parliament in Chenho, almost see then bi wo ho no omo to amena kese bi wo ho no
National Cathedral
they say yen to me friend National Cathedral because amena na da ho we hwe sika ya pompiagu sa we ma almost 600 million getting to 700 million. So we are president now we 700 million we 5 million say we be cabinet retreat we 69 million we be two kwan. You have all these revenues between so the be way and an option to absorb fees of first year student. If you are a forward looking president, obviously you choose investment in the lives of young people.
Yeah,
that is what President Mahama is saying, that government is a matter of priority, where you think your interest will best fit the interest of the generality of people, and what you do I be benefit won kwano ono onye ni sa rather obetremu mana benefit obia na ne ntie friend no fee stress ne say unya admission to any tertiary institution. The first time obenya admission na oberemu no is very stressful, because eno was so hwehwe. That is the reason why we share obi ni fees for the first time all university and a continuing student no for the first time no need any doors we see continuing student. So it is very stressful even paying for the first time. That is where we want to absorb, meet Ghanaians midway. Say look, ni ebeye adiswa ewo so asi ukwan say meant me ra school pom no ye fa sa aka no na wo ma me ni wo papa busuafo tax ayagigi omo kakra no, they need to benefit from or profit from that tax. So we are giving that tax back to them by way of investing in the education of their children. Na bia tia saska no ye tia when say university education is 4 years to obi be bisa say after absorbing the first year no ni aka no wo di be den
and only then it's a question because or say a year 4 months be wom because after first year no oje e kano so awia omo no so omba fahin omo didie mo mpokra no e die no mo be
e ho na e ye me mobo say a political party like the NPP who pride themselves say they are a party of the intelligentsia, they are a party of the elite. Current flag bearer say NDC 4 they say yen kind
no parking kind.
Yes, yen parking kind. So presumably omo parking kind. So when we put out their manifesto, the first thing they should have done is say go and pick the document kind and sana you react with. So the comment from Miracles Abuaji clearly demonstrates say adieno kra on kan
oh sir
on kan because we share manifesto na idea ba na youth manifesto na ye can say after absorbing the first year for omo aya remu no, what we are going to do ni say we are going to streamline the student loan scheme, because currently enunsu omo de akosi awowa. So we need to what bring it out of that bondage in order to serve the needs of students. We didn't set up the scheme say yemfankoji loan embedi. We set up the scheme to help brilliant but needy students who go university. You have an option to apply for student loan. When you apply, nobody will deny you when you meet the requirement. So what we want to do is after absorbing the first year fees, those who see continuing ones no who rush school more, then you fall on the student loan. In fact, we also have the scholarship secretariat. What we want to do is recently Fourth Estate investigation we hear about scholarship secretariat. We realize it is not given to those who are deserving. It is not given to one of my colleagues told me in the past we were told scholarship is meant for
the needy,
brilliant by needy students. But now no, the scholarship is meant for what? Rich but lazy students.
Wow.
Because we under MPP scholarship secretariat, the list abana omo ayamo scholarship are not people who are needy. In fact, Omo Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer Raphael onukronya scholarship nibi and the host of them who show omo he say the chekeke
Freddie Blame
Freddie Blame niba is he or she needy? Not at all. Obi ani papa so wanyeska e di koto e bidi for your friend is Senate Hotels.
La Palm.
How how do you tell me, Sanipa, no, needy to deserve a scholarship? So if all these people, we have this money, it was scholarship secretariat, and we are giving it to rich people to further their education outside the country, and you are telling me, say, we can't get money from the scholarship secretariat or the student loan to finance the education of students in Ghana, Hanuma. Look at the amount they pay in pounds and in dollars. When you convert it to Ghana, see their affinity these days. When you convert it, so these are revenue streams we are looking at raking in to finance this policy.
But they must about loan now. Bosiana mobobo esua for no. Ahia na modebe mo. Never so fees in it.
Good. Uko student loan. One of the things we are looking at is over the years, there is a base amount. As a law, medicine, sociology, psychology, you apply, you are giving. One of the things we are looking at is Uko universities the courses are here, no. They don't pay the same fees. Obi or medicine, the fees is different from someone reading psychology. And they say, or apply for loan. Now, ABS, Sky 2,000. Now, money 2,000. 2,000 may be able to cover Obi or year psychology.
Yeah.
But New York law, already law, and answer medicine, and architecture or tech, and other institution, may not be able to cover it. So, what we need to do is we need to look at those applying. So we hear medicine the amount you get should be different from the one reading psychology or sociology. That is how we are going to go about it. In order to attend to the needs of the people. We will not sit down and you see 2020, a manifesto I hear. We titled it People's Manifesto. Yeah. And there's a reason why. The People's Manifesto, he said, all the things in the manifesto came from the people and the solution came from the people. Gone are the days we sit in our air-conditioned offices. Now you assume say problems way and a Ghana for FAC. Now say no say ye tackle. Tina ya churo niyama agrikata ni near the ama Ghana present say and no ye manifesto. These are the things we think Ghanaians are facing.
Wow.
That was not what we did. We went to them, listened to them, and the same processes this new manifesto went to. I mean, the youth one. Yeah. What I call the parent manifesto will be launched on 24th. It went through the same process of listening to Ghanaians before we put together this. So we have taken the views of people. The issue you just raised, they all came up at the consultative stages and even the scrutiny stage. We took into account all these things. And we have... of course, when you have a manifesto, you can't put everything in the manifesto. You have policy, you have policy document, and I can share even the educational aspect of this manifesto, the policy document on it, which captures some of the things that I have listed here. But
but give me a question now. It's mobile mabosia, a shiafo no betimi, ediatria, almost school fees. To say the more Kenya na and I back say oh yeah ma kakra nan enkai no wakop every titi with the Dennis Abuaji miracle kano or here ni ne bano obekwan.
So that question has been answered in this document because ukanya osi obema busia that will be responsive and commiserate.
Okay. Responsive and commiserate to the educational needs of the continuing student.
I just say, yes, be a responsive and commiserate. So fees here 200 Ghana. We are giving you something equivalent to 200 Ghana to clear the fees. That is what it means. And he said, Obi a comment with that was why I said there is miracles Abuaji document no on Kanye because all the issues are raising is answered in this document. And you can only get answers when you read the document. When you pretend to say, I will read the document, but I will just be raising questions. You know, you are just exposing yourself and say you've not read the document. And you are speaking out of ignorance. That is what it is, because all the questions are answered in the document. All the issues he raised or other people are raising, it was raised at the consultative stages. And it went through processes. A lot of minds came together. And we looked at all the things that will go into this. And we put it together. So this is a watertight document. I don't know how they are going to punch it for it to best. But so far, they've not been able to do that anyway.
And about a year, baby, I'm moving your sikeya. What should I get fund? and then the whole crowd. But again, what baby I dream and then I to get funny. At the end, I'm about said about ya afibor, afinimunina. If you ever the or baby in ano, Nassika or for 20 more, a bit my yen near, and was say.
Madika, I can say, get fancy. We uncap it. We uncap get fund. Now, and also block leakages in the system, wastages and leakages. Who can Auditor General reporter? The amount of money that is wasted yearly on corruption or unaccounted money, sir, that amount alone can fund no fee stress for the next 4 years. In fact, the government of Ghana, Flagstaff House, the budget alone, until recently that the IMF came, was within the region of 3 billion to 3.5 billion. It was when IMF came now, we reduced it to somewhere 2-point-something billion. So if government Flagstaff alone is spending that amount of money because they have over 1,000 presidential staffers, and we have promised a slim government, we are not going to pack Flagstaff House with people and you are reducing the burden on government finances, and that is where you are going to rake in more revenue to finance this policy.
But I say almost say a human does until no far and go for baby sano. It's a more to or Maya Sikasama say no Maya Potono, more young for baby on.
You see that argument, Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo himself has defeated that argument. Onuneye, the first person, when people started raising issues about the number of ministers who are appointed in his first term, he made a Twitter post to say, Ejumanu Dawson, and he here more hands, and into no appointing more ministers.
And I feel so pent.
Yes, he want to hit the ground running. In the second term, ministries are created, you know. We say presidential special initiative, Zongo and inner cities, and in Yamanyama. So are scrapping in now. So on one air catch will say it is not about numbers, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. If President Mahama did not appoint that number of ministers, Professor Mills did not appoint that number of ministers, but we had single-digit inflation running for almost a year, and now you have appointed this number of ministers, and inflation, I think only yesterday we are told is
29.
Exactly. At a point in time, it went as high as 40-something%. So if you have this number of people and you have inflation somewhere 40-something%, and Obi Yusuf slim government to achieve a single-digit inflation, the same person had way that slim government to give you cedi to dollar rate of 4 cedis. And you have this balloon elephant-sized government, you are giving us almost 16 cedis to the dollar. Then it has defeated your own argument. Say you here in Crawford Eddie Ayejuma. In fact, under Mahama, we didn't get 1,000 and over presidential staffers. What are they doing there that you need 1,000 and over? It won't happen under the watch of President Mahama, and he has even promises. And you see, there is Bisan Sembi say, and you say be a Busremuka, ye can because of votes. Say be no stress fees, and ye ba be money akaso ye were opposition into the most fascinating thing about this whole discussion is President Mahama with the vice president da, with the president da, Professor Nana Jane, where ye juma were education ministry da. Now this no fee stress policy no, it has everything to do with education. So they already understand the system before making this promise. Tienya dia afe no omuba for the first time. No mudu hono mama so na ye nim se na de anitie. They've been there before. They've been in the kitchen before. They know how hot the kitchen was, and it still is. So they understand what they are promising, and they know how they are going to do it. So more bien baby and say it is a political talk. It is not a political talk. If free SHS, even at the time, MPP abandoned the community day secondary schools John Dramani Mahama here with the intent of having all this infrastructure in place before rolling it out. They were able to roll it out at that stage, and we are still struggling to streamline it. It was possible. No fee stress in the tertiary institutions, public tertiary institutions, is equally possible. And it's interesting. Say omu campaign hashtag say it's possible. And now saying say something is not possible. I mean, that is a contradiction in their own policy statement. And in fact, all those who have something to do with education, we've listened to them so far. They are not saying it is not possible. What they some of them have questions they have raised is about revenue because of economy. And you see, when we launch our main manifesto on 24th, the issue of economy will be tackled and how we are going to resuscitate this economy. And the measures we are going to use to resuscitate the economy, when you put the economy on a strong footing, you are good to go.
Hey, now again, okay, because 2026, you know, what be would have been, you know, I'm who do I do mokano. Chinchina was so here. So a dear magic na mobile be ya, a bit of Buama economy na say Gina and Asho. I bet Buama no fee stressy at my year, you must say you for Reno.
Kwame, ase upese onum nkwana ansa na fufu na aba
so anya akoboso
we
one agofabaye
we have some few days to 24th.
Yes,
and question our bisano on 24th it will be answered in the main manifesto, which has an elaborate chapter on how to revive the economy.
A 24-hour economy now.
As for 24-hour economy,
because even the sister be or what NPP more about Bonte Meka say 24-hour economy the crown or and the NHS say Modeba Aketia Obichi no Wabra Manfo Biba Becano Saketiana and Albert and maybe Baba Becano.
And I think I'm responding to Sa post. No,
Akosia Menu, right?
It's Akosia Menu, yes. It is rather unfortunate. Say Obi Oye Deputy Director, also Director of the National Youth Authority, will come out and make such a statement. It tells you the reason why we call Abelengpe, Kempon Travel and Tours, Canada for way be near. It tells you why when you go there, every morning, young people of this country have lined up on the sun, scorching sun, standing, waiting to get visas to travel outside. It is in recent times now, somebody have realized that there is opportunity there. Into no renty plastic chairs, mom. This morning I passed there. When you go there, is a gentleman there who is renting plastic chairs. He has also seen the business of problem. So if someone who is working at the National Youth Authority to formulate policies to help the youth is making this statement, it tells you why the country is in this dire situation. But you see, I'll respond.
I didn't know wrong with the statement.
It is fundamentally flawed and born out of ignorance. Usha, Anese for needs the security agencies. So we call ejuma shift system.
Yeah.
Now shift system now we call say ebia we policy near.
Yeah.
We seek our OGA. Ebia under the single spine. Uji 1,000 Ghana. Because we need because shifting, you know. Omuche scan ma uji 500 Ghana, manipani G 500 Ghana. It doesn't work like that. What we are even saying is say we have 8 hours. Yeah. It has even given you opportunity to double your or triple your income.
Yeah.
Because at that stage, it's about you. If you work 8 hours, and internet nurses, no, nurses need doctors. They have something they call locum. Locum, the simplest explanation is yafa we ejuma or kolebu. We hear ejuma or kolebu. But you have a private hospital that you work with. Until you pon ujuma that shift ejuma no or kolebu na, then you go to the private hospital. No akoye ejuma or honomo. You receive another salary and add it to the salary that you take at the end of the month. So under the 24-hour economy, I always use the example of DVLA. So DVLA currently, their staff strength is 2,000. Under the 24-hour economy, they are going to get about 6,000 people. And that 6,000 people, if currently they are taking nipa bakufa ebia naketua 2,000. Which you 2,000. Whoever will come after the 8 hours is also paid the same 2,000. The one that will come next is also paid the same 2,000. And to wire with 8 hours now, at the end of the month you are entitled to 2,000. If you get another job somewhere to go and do, that one you receive another salary from that place. So if you have the capacity to even work in 3 shifts, different companies, it means you are going to get what 3 revenue streams. Uji Aketia 3.
Yeah.
So it means you have even triple your salary.
Level, yeah.
So if this simple thing, you want an NDC person to explain this to you, and you are the director, also deputy director of the National Youth Authority, and you are seeking to enter the parliament of this country to make laws for people of Ghana, then it means that we are challenged as a country.
And you see, there's a reason Tiami Bisa, when you say you're digressing, here Tiami Bisa and say, Babunu no a free ne mofra bremu ekosi bra obewie suapon a obepa adwuma no mo won hihye awodo a ebedi aboa babunu no kopem se obedu ni mpani bremu because owie suapon a obehia adwuma. Is that the reason for we?
Yes. Ohwa nhihye a ewo Ghana ni se uko school no wie tertiary institution whether polytechnic or whatever. Ubeye national service.
Yeah.
And it was the NDC government. First, not national service, you 344. It was under NDC government, John Mahama government, in a 2 to 599. I'm told now it has been increased to 700 and something. And in Ponomuntia, give to your warrior Boaji and your scholarship nibi. On your scholarship nibi, Obi deputy executive director for National Service Secretariat. On Ukraine scholarship now, MPP for chair no nyebi. Yes. Emono ediko yes and doctorate tools and way over have amanoni. But on no our benefiting from SAR system no. National service for mu yej moment to yomo. So what we are going to do is see we need to ensure say we have prompt payment of these service allowances. Because nipani we university na or national service in order to acquire experience. But one of the things we are looking at is even to look at the National Service Law, it's National Service Act itself. We shall act now. It says ubeye national service for 2 years. Within that 2 years, you do 6-month military training.
Yeah.
But somewhere in 1989, there was a cabinet fiat to reduce it to 1 year. Okay. And internal service currently we do 1 year. But 2 years with 6-month military training.
Wow. But so the military training every
year 1 year no every so.
Every so.
Ama now no 1 year.
Wow.
You see, there are a lot of people who say national service scheme is rather a national suffering scheme. Because say na ya shisha ade no, we school sometimes you are posted to another region. You need to go and rent. What school? Now we need more. You can just go here rent. Abra ye won crofo was our regions now. Bet to me. Ya post you more honum. And I said the people from the north. Oma Bakra, University of Ghana.
Yeah.
Oma Kwaya, go back to their regions. So why don't you post those people to their regions since they want to work there? And you post them to in Accra. When they are done with school, they fee hostels. So they need to go and rent. And Accra rent is very expensive. There are those who are resident here in Accra who can work from home. But if you put
buying subventions for universities more and run His Excellency John Enrichi, now we'll see Sassam Sudria. But more can as if say or more currently or more baymono or more shadan Nayana says he cannot and could do baby was a could do. Okas over yeno prompt over say Sikana Bedura. How are you doing that? What you identify and no ma by ya coincidie and ya ma by way tia Sikano Enru and what bread was a dronana.
Look, near happen under Baumia Akufo-Addo MPP government is deliberate and wickedness. I'll give you an example.
How?
Baumia ye campaign no call Bono, I think Bono region or Bono East region. Baby Eko beside the question, the young nursing student now beside the question about nursing allowance. Yes, beside the question about the nursing allowance. Yes. Dr. Baumia's response was that he was not aware, but only finance minister, no, be checking with the finance minister, that if that was the case, Obema Yatuo Muka. Now, when he returned to Accra, I don't know whether he did that consultation with the finance minister. There was a statement issued, say, I'm a financial clearance, say, Yentia nursing training allowance. That is what I'm saying. Say, what is happening is born out of wickedness and is deliberate. This is kind of you can pay. You waited, you owe these people over 21 months. About 21 months, and you took a young, bold lady to confront your flag bearer, for your flag bearer to issue instructions, say, pay the people. But why that is correct? After the lady made the complaint, but the banner saying that you see, say wickedness, leader no enim. One thing, and you see, the funny thing was that Oko Honomono Nanko Peso attack John Mahama. Say John Mahama cancel nursing training allowance. T on the year campaign. Unknown to him, no, on one of them, he's not even on top of issues. On him say they are owing these young people over 21 months. So that was when the young lady walked boldly and confronted him. Say, Adiana who can say we are introduced now, we are Jamboree, who are relaunching here. No? We are being owed 21 months. We have not been paid. We have exams ahead of us. If we don't pay our fees, we will be sacked. Currently, CTAC, some they are on strike for so many months. They are even looking at whether closing down the schools. Ma CTAC in paying for, and set it out, say they are going to close down the school now. Whatever the teachers are looking for, they will give it to them.
So dear NDC Bayer, what's the guarantee say near MP before you munyebi?
And I make say the issue about nursing training allowance
subventions
complain. The immediately payment, part of the payment was effected. Actually, says but it is born out of wickedness and no muntiano. Because if there was no money, you hear complaining here and so if the money is there, why should you be sitting on the money? You are enjoying, and those who are in school, reintroducing allowance, you are not paying them. But when they complain, you pay the money. So it means the money is there. So why should you be waiting and not pay the people?
Very well. It was blessing. Once some the chat for be a washer and you say about tertiary education now. About for no den sakraya, a subi my dano, a dinner walk at channel.
Near me, I catch it in Mebununa. What tertiary education, and I said those who are in senior high school, they are nursing ambition to enter the tertiary institutions. Ni said, Niama titia pansam, but there is hope on the way, and that hope is the NDC government led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman.
All right, it was blessed. You better sepano bra unyama no pay. You better discuss no fee stress. No, I'm sure that by now the HHM the abanato will be assumed. I must say in common to be trapped. Now me move on to other things. That controversy be over. I'm not forbidden by 2 million. Me who be a free bar. But at least I must have one common. Yeah, that's a pa. It must bless a year.
It's the official anthem agenda.
Greater Accra Regional Youth Organizer ma NDC Amanyo Kono. Osanso ya boso we oracle. Happy birthday come out Sandra Samoa. Nima Divisional Police Command. We free ladies them boss. Osi nyamisha no nyo kese. Abusu ye gina we so de ko enkomo no abada wie ye. Ye be sha nyame yadoma Sami Jamfi Communication Officer ma NDC Amanyo Kono. Baby e mositi one no betra. Ye ne be di enkomo. Bye bye.